stopped mucking about right there at least. But apparently it's like maintenance. And I'm like, if you're doing maintenance, you should frickin' tell me beforehand. What if this were a client call? If this were a client call, then this would be fucking with my actual job. And what the fuck was that fucking van doing going down that alleyway at 40? I don't know. Now I'm in a bad mood, and I don't even remember what was happening.
It's driver 8's turn.
It's driver 8's turn?
Yeah. Tom just had his power of action to dispel magic if he sees it coming.
Okay, so now it's Drider 8's turn. Well, Drider 8. Drider 8 dropped down here for a reason. And that reason is to attempt to grab its spear.
And it's under my feet.
Yep. It's going to make an acrobatics check. It grabs its spear without provoking an attack of opportunity.
Nice little bugger.
Yeah.
I was got disconnected again.
You were disconnected a while ago when I lost my entire internet for a moment again.
No, I tried I thought I was back in because I logged in again and said I was connected.
It never told me you connected. You must have gotten disconnected and reconnected while it was still waiting to recognize that I was gone. Okay. Yeah, this sort of thing is why I get so pissed off at these things. Tonatium, how many rounds?
Turn of turning back to solid. Oh, you're still not useful.
Okay, Drider 7 is going to scurry along here, running along this wall of stone.
Motherfucking life ends in 5 rounds.
To stab it here.
No.
And these guys actually have 2 attacks and haven't been using them. That's why.
You are one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Provoking attacks of opportunity from all adjacent opponents. Fortunately, I do not believe you count as adjacent.
How come it's adjacent?
You have... What's your reach?
5 feet.
No. They're only able to attack you because they have 10-foot reach at weapons.
Oh, yeah, he's still on the wall. The guy next to me in front of me.
Yeah. Here.
Let's redo that flurry of blows attempts on 8.
Okay.
First round, I'll be a stunning fest. Which I hope it's because the others drop his spear again.
That hits.
Okay. He's making DC 19 fortitude save.
There's a fortitude save. It is 18.
He is stunned. He drops his weapon. Can't take actions, loses his Dex to AC and a -2 AC penalty.
Yay.
And I did really max damage. Second flurry of blows hit.
That one does not hit.
It does hit.
Oh.
I smell fuckery.
21 does not hit.
Even with his Dex gone and a -2?
Oh, that's right, his dex. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, it does hit. Because he's stunned, it hits. Only because he's stunned does it hit.
Yes, only because he's stunned. I've been rolling very low on my attack rolls.
Yeah. gonna snack Buzz off. Yes, that hits. Well. Strider's not looking very good. That's another hit. The Strider is really not looking good.
And last hit.
No. Keros.
Okay, let's do this. On Drider 8.
Are you sure you want to do Drider 8?
I am going to cast Bestow Curse.
Drider 8?
Yes.
The one that's stunned and nearly dead?
No, 7, sorry. The blind one. So this is the spell resistance.
That overcomes spell resistance.
So it's going to need to make a save then.
Will save.
Yes, will.
I roll shit.
So do I, though, kid.
He is cursed, and I'm going to give it a 50% chance to lose an action every turn. Its action every turn.
Okay.
Wow.
And at the end of your turn, let's say this happens. Okay, nothing happens.
Cool. Strider is stunned.
So Drider 8 is stunned.
Yep, you can't act.
Tonatium, this is the round that everything finishes.
Hey! Finally.
Drider 7.
Magic. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind.
Drider 7 cannot act this turn because of curse. Here.
Debuff, bitches!
I guess I will start my flurry of blows against 8.
Okay. That hits, which means that you're going to deal more than 1 damage.
Yeah, I'm going to do 2d6 plus 8 damage.
And I said he was looking.
We'll be striking at 7.
No,
I
it
will do
won't. Unless you have something to increase your reach.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
7's too high.
That's all I can do this round.
So yeah,
Because I'm full round attack.
you punch Drider 8 and then you do a bunch of fancy kung fu motion in Drider 7's direction.
Which, even though he's blind.
Kairos.
Is it on the wall right now?
It's kind of up on the ceiling, crouched between the walls, like, big spider bum facing right at you.
Would I be able to reach out to touch it at all? Or is it too high up?
Can you reach? You need 10 feet reach. Or a way to walk up. Why am I getting texts? Oh, students who left their musical instruments at the elementary school can pick up their instruments at the elementary school during a 1-hour time period. That sounds like a great way to get all of the parents and all of the students in the school in the same room at the exact same time to spread the disease.
I should practice more later.
So yeah, Kairos, you're gonna not do anything?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold my action for right now.
2, if you're holding action, that means you have something, like, you either have to say you're holding until after someone, or you have to say what you're holding to do.
Dispel magic again.
Okay.
Spellcast.
Tonatium.
A wand, a magic missile, 7.
Hey, Kairos, you're seeing a spellcast.
Not on him.
Alright.
First, arcane spell failure check. Nope, okay. Spell resistance.
it's fine.
You.
Pew indeed. Drider 7 has a 50% chance to do no actions. It does no actions. Which of course means that it's still up there where here can't reach it without doing something. Yeah.
Can I jump and then attack?
I will allow you to attempt to.
Cool, I can jump 10 feet without even needing to roll.
There you go. Make your attack.
Yeah, it's only one attack, but sadly.
You do your fancy kung fu flip kick.
I do love that fact that I can jump 10 feet like it's nothing.
That hits.
Oh, I have a question. Is this thing evil?
Yes.
Make its fortitude save against magic roll dice.
Should have done that with the other one too.
I should have. Okay.
I was going to ask if you forgot about that.
It just made it save.
So Kairos.
Yeah, everything what I want to do. Can't touch it.
You can wait. You don't have to do something every round.
Yes, join the lazy side. If I cast hold person on this thing, would it fall or would it still be able to stay up?
It's not a person.
Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna not do anything for this turn.
Donatium.
He looks like he's got this handled.
You know, the person jumping, punching a giant spider.
Hey, it can do something this turn. It can do something this turn.
Oh, Tiam has made a grave miscalculation.
As it stops. Looks at here and stabs twice. Just really not doing a very good job of things.
I don't think you know I have any good crits. My AC is 33.
Here.
I'm gonna do the same jump and punch, but this one's going to be a stunning fist.
Okay. Make your attack. That does not hit.
Sad face. Get down from there!
Kairos.
Let's see, what do we want to do here? He's got it. He's got this. I believe in him.
I'm gonna hit the spider, and the spider can't hit me.
Donatium.
If only I could lay down on the wall without the need of spider climb. As I say, standing on the side of the wall and not really doing anything. Because here's got this handle.
The Drider extends its hand towards here and casts Magic Missile.
Oh god, magic missile.
Ah. Probably stronger than my wand.
Ow!
21 damage as 5 bolts come flying out of its hand.
I don't got this, guys. You confused my DR.
He's got this. Oh dear, he probably doesn't got this.
Jumping, stunning fist again.
That hits.
Yay! Fortitude save, please. Damn it. He made it indeed.
Makes it save.
Yeah, my DC is 19.
And I was looking up whether or not it would fall if it were stunned. Kairos.
I'm prepared to spell magic.
Yeah, you saw magic.
Yep.
Okay, now I need to double check how counterspell works.
Guys, I don't got this.
I know dispel magic can always be used to counterspell.
I'm at 32 HP. Get a 20 with constructing magic missile.
Alright, gotcha.
So, Tuntium.
Well, if he's blasting magic missile, then I'm going to respond with kind. So, arcane check, penetrate spell resistance, missile.
Pew pew pew.
Pew, pew.
The Drider starts casting magic missile. I need you to make a spellcraft check, Kairos.
Spellcraft, okay.
Oh, that's probably the spell we cast at will.
Got magic missile at will.
I need to learn that.
You do not recognize what spell is being cast to adjust your dispel magic to do counterspell.
And I would like you to know I'm at 11 HP. 11.
Why didn't you say you were being bloodied?
What are you talking about?
Here.
He doesn't do
Also,
any damage around with his magic missile.
okay, that was for that 20 was for the golden blood thing.
Oh, yeah.
Here, it's your turn.
I'm gonna spend 2 key points to heal for 12 HP.
Okay. Do some anime bullshit.
Yeah, do some healing bullshit. My turn. It's the standard action.
That was your standard action.
Yeah, that was my standard action.
Kairos.
Fudge. Can I try to jump up and touch it?
Make your acrobatics roll.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I have 44 to my jump roll, Tom, so I can jump 40 feet with nothing.
Yeah.
You need to try.
You managed to jump 4 feet in the air.
Yeah, it's DC 40 to jump 10 feet, or Tom.
Oh,
That's with our running start.
okay.
Donatium.
How do I hurt him but avoid not hurting? Nope.
Hey, maybe my curse will make it skip its turn this time. Then it'll be safe.
Yeah, for my turn.
It could, or it could. Nope, I cannot do that without you getting caught in the fire.
Without me getting caught in the fire.
Without you getting caught in it.
If you want, you can go for it. So you're meaning fireball.
Yeah, but I got something that's probably safer. Let me just check the range on that.
I mean, how about a little half damage right there?
It's a cone burst if I do that. Or, how do I get... I'm overthinking this. I don't know if I'm overthinking it or not. Yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna
That's possible. You can do that.
I can? Okay. Let's see. Spell failure check. Nope. Spell resistance.
That does not resist.
Kaboom.
Okay.
Wait 1 second.
It
You
fails.
just can't roll, kids.
But can you?
Da da
Oh, wait,
da
that's
da
right.
da 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 da.
Are you okay?
Is the war gone?
Tony will walk over it if possible.
You're just gonna look at Kairos, panting, like hands on his knees, going, if you do that again, I'm punching you.
I'm just gonna walk over and I'm going to touch him and I'm going to cast heal.
Heal.
Yes, so you heal 120 HP.
Jesus.
Also, cure all diseases and mental conditions you might be suffering from.
I'm immune to disease.
Also, these are summoned creatures, so when they die, they actually vanish.
They go,
They vanish back to the plane from which they were conjured.
Nice, that spell.
heal is a very nice spell.
But I used engineering not being there to figure that out.
Because they're from the material plane.
Why did I think of that?
So ironically, banishment would have worked.
I was thinking of it, but I thought they weren't. Can we rest though, please? I'm starting to run out of spells for today.
Should have thought that before taking your test.
Arafan is coming in saying, well, it's all taken care of then. And he's very carefully walking around this pit.
We're just standing over it.
Yeah, like literally here's standing on the hair right now.
Oh, it's not a real pit. Well, the trial is in the basement of this building. He points his staff down the long way.
Well, sounds good. Our bejeweled demon friend wants to take a nap.
Please.
Far can I actually?
You can see as far as you want to see. This is a room with a vaulted ceiling 60 feet high at the apex, supported with buttresses, but showing several gaping holes in the roof. Most of the floor is a sea of debris, collapsed archways, shattered glass, broken pews, but a clear path leads down the center of the room. Several large piles of debris still smolder and smoke. Where an altar undoubtedly once stood is now a rough-hewn statue, propped up on stones so it doesn't tilt like everything else in the cathedral. The statue depicts an obscenely fat biped with the head of a ram. Black silk hanging from nearby pillars gives the statue the appearance of bat wings.
Is that Amathoron?
It doesn't look like Nabothoron.
Who could it be? Not with its religion.
That's a statue of the demon lord Orcus.
Orcus on his throne.
Demon lord of undeath.
Try to like. practical to be walking from the ceiling, so.
Oh, you're up on the ceiling. You can make a perception check. So I need to make that roll for you.
I don't like that roll. 60.
Oh, that was a different roll. I have to just make that roll every now and then. Yeah, no, it's fine. You don't see anything.
Alright, guess. Wanna take lead at somebody?
I thought we were going to discuss napping.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're not just gonna wait for us to laze around. We've already wasted enough
I
time.
need my spells. I've burned through most of them.
And perhaps you should have conserved them more carefully.
At least I did something.
You set free an ancient demon.
It was already loose. The bindings were broken.
Carafon goes, well, I don't know if this is a good time to bicker, but I do know the narthex is not a safe place to rest.
Will there be a safe place to rest further in?
In the abyss? Safer, maybe. Depends on if there's anything in there. But I know that it points its staff towards the broken down outer door. If there are things outside, they'll come in this way. And if there are still things inside, they'll come in this way. This is perhaps the most foolish place one could rest.
Hero turn to Kara. So you think we can wait a little bit longer?
He sighs but nods. Before I'm going to say the word and turn invisible again.
Hero will take the point.
Okay. Carafon will walk and kind of stick near the wall, looking very cowardly.
Are the rubble impassable or are they rough terrain?
It's rough terrain. Is Kairos going to hang that far back?
Being how close I want to be.
Okay, here. Would you back up a little to where you were, Tonatium?
Oh.
A wall of flame erupts,
Oh.
separating here from everyone else. And there is an initiative check to be made.
Oh dear.
So,
That was caught off guard.
I foresaw this.
No, you didn't.
and you.
It's a wall of fire.
Sacrifices Tonatium to become a god.
I'd like to see you try.
So, Kairos.
Well, I can't do much on my turn. I'm staggered.
Oh yeah, the heat waves are radiating out in the direction of here.
In my direction.
Yes.
That's a good thing I can survive comfortably at 140-degree heat.
So it's 6 fire damage at you.
Oh. I'm assuming that's magical.
Yes, but it is fire.
I don't have fire resistance, I just can survive comfortably in intense heats.
Oh, then you took 6 fire
I
damage.
have fire resistance 10, so.
Well, the heat is not in your direction.
Okay.
That's bad. Since the heat's in my direction, it means probably the enemy's on your side.
Can I cast Dispel Magic targeting the wall of fire?
You may attempt it, yes. there's a check involved, I do believe.
Okay.
You need to make a d20 plus your caster level. That barely succeeds. You had to roll better than a 26. So yeah, so you see the fire come. The fire comes and you go, oh, no. And it disrupts. Here. Singed a little along your backside.
I'll take a few steps back towards the group and try to look around for where they possibly could have been, where we could possibly be.
You may make a perception check.
Okay, perception check. Okay.
You see two enemies. One far away, hiding behind the statue of Orcus, is a serpentine figure pulling its hand back, having finished casting some sort of spell. And then you look up and you see a woman, winged, looking at Kairos, kind of clapping.
I will point both of them out to everyone.
So, that one. That's not what I wanted to click. That's where I wanted to click. That guy over there is going to go, looking very annoyed, and start casting a spell. The one that's way down behind the statue begins casting a spell. Tonatium.
That's not good. I will cast shield on myself and immediately move towards the wall.
The one up top goes, is it you? Pointing at Tonatium. Or you? Pointing at Kairos. So hard to decide. I thought it was you, but I saw no kisses for you. She points it here. No kisses for you. And
That's hurtful, love.
she starts eeny, meeny, miny, mowing for a moment between Tonatium and Kairos, before pointing at Kairos and swooping down and attempting to kiss him.
Bad kiss, bad kiss.
What you gonna do?
I need you to... So actually, first things first, she needs to... Where is it? Come on, where are you? Grapple. Okay. I rolled a 2. So she swoops down, attempts to grab Kairos and force him into a kiss. Fails. And flies back up into the rafters. Just turning and going, that's not very nice.
Bad touch, bad touch.
Kairos.
They're probably right here, so it's not going to work. But it really would. She's back in the rafters again.
Yes.
So I can't touch her. I need to touch her. Yes, I do. I was thinking of casting Sands of Time and aging her.
She is...
Seeing what her reaction would be.
She is totally down with you touching her whenever you want.
Yeah, she wouldn't touch you, in fact.
I know. I
It has no effect.
Where's the shot?
Chunky is gonna roll his eyes.
Dismissal is the one that sends them back to their home plane, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It has no effect.
Where's the shot?
Here.
I'm certain they can handle this one guy. This one woman. I want to spend 2 key points to Omaru Mushindiru, this guy. Because I can teleport 800 feet.
You are right next to a, big fiery serpent man with a big fiery spear.
And then I will punch him with a stunning fist. At least a punch him.
That will hit.
Cool.
So we have Fortitude save versus the stun.
And
then-
he's stunned, so he drops his spear.
And Fortitude save versus the golden ice.
He did not do the golden ice though.
So
So he's stunned, drops spear, no dex, -2 AC. And can't act. So he probably loses that spell he was casting.
he needs to make a concentration camp. He needs to make a concentration check.
He's stunned though, he can't act, right?
He doesn't need to act. It just the spell doesn't come into effect until he just needs to keep focus until the start of his next round. So he needs to make a concentration check. Where is it? He keeps focus. So he's stunned and cannot act, but the spell finishes. And a great inferno forms in the middle of the room, coalescing into the form of a fiery man with a fiery sword.
No. You're going to go bye-bye when I get my turn. Nope.
Tonatiuh.
Focus on yourself, I say, as I cast a spell magic on the summoned elemental.
Make your check.
Check. Oh yeah. Well, first of all, spell failure. All the times are at the fail.
It fails. How do you know like a 1 to 20?
Yeah, it's
So
a one.
what's the revolver give?
It's a 1 to 20.
So you're wanting to roll 1.
Yeah.
You only fail on a roll of 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, in that case, okay, spell will go off.
So you need to make your check. It's a DC
Oh,
26.
spell resistance.
No, this is your check for the dispel to go off. It's a caster level check, DC 11 plus opponent's caster level. So.
Okay, so. Oh, this is also abjuration, so there's that. Do I add my intelligence modifier? I forgot.
No, it's caster level.
Okay.
You do not succeed. So you grab that magic, you try to tear it apart, but the person who casts that spell is stronger than you are.
Or I need to use a stronger dispel.
She goes, maybe later. Swoops down here. Attempts to grab Tonatiuh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, come on, where is your... There it is. Does 27 beat your combat maneuver defense?
Yes.
So, she comes in and she gives you a deep, passionate kiss. So, you get 1 negative level,
Crap.
and I
Again?
need you So it's a fortitude save.
A fortitude save. This is a death. Insanity or confusion.
No, the fortitude save for the negative level.
Oh, fortitude. Okay.
You resist the negative level.
That's good.
You also need to make a will save.
Is this be a death, insanity, or confusion effect?
No.
Okay. Oh, all the times of 101.
And as she pulls back, she strokes your cheek and says, "Kill the one with the poisoned golden touch, my love," and points towards here.
Fuck. Fuck.
Here is all over there,
This effect will last for 1 hour.
For 1 hour. Tone to
Hey, I guess we should have rested.
I don't remember the fact of anything.
So yeah,
They would have ambushed us while we were asleep.
she can't actually stand up and fly back though. She spent too much to move. Gyros.
Alright. Not dealing with you. Dismissal. Casting against the elemental.
Back to the elemental plane of fire you go.
I just see it's just like he's just annoyed, like, no. And then I can't cast a spell because I already cast that. Start moving towards here.
Okay. Here.
Cool. I'll spend 1 key point to add an extra attack to my flurry of blows. I will flurry of blows. My first attack will be a stunning effect. What is the 17?
17 is your stunning fist.
He is stunned.
He is stunned, but not goldenized.
And then he takes the damage, 2d6 plus 8. And then my next attack.
That hits for sure. You can only not hit on a critical failure.
2d6 plus 8 plus 1d6 now. Third attack, which I think this.
That hits.
And then this. For next attack.
Hits.
And then this. Next attack.
Oh boy.
Hits. Not hit. Does not hit. Does not hit. Does
And
not hit.
last attack. I'm sorry, that's
Yes, that hits. This creature is very not happy looking,
and he can't act this turn because he's stunned.
and he cannot act. And your fists count as magic.
Yep. And good aligned and cold and sober and law.
Yes.
He cannot act. Tonatium.
Managed to kill here.
You get a will save every round to not act that compulsion that round.
Okay.
You have to act your compulsion this round.
She's hot. He was annoying me anyway. I'm gonna do it.
Don't forget, oh yeah, oh, so you're running along the wall. As far as here is concerned, Tonatium's running to save the day.
My God, no.
As she turns to you, Kairos, and goes, "It could have been you, darling," and flies back up into the rafters. That's her action. Kairos.
I'm sorry, we never would have worked out. Where are you, Tonatium?
He's laying at the rafters. Okay, thank you.
Trying to look through my spells real quick. I just imagine you running. No. Reaches out a hand. Silence!
Is there a real save involved?
No, I'm just casting it. An entire 20-foot zone is no
Where's
sound
your target?
Go inward.
Where's your target center for that?
Probably like.
You can press spacebar and it'll put a
Probably like right around here.
20-foot radius.
Yep.
There's the range of silence. Here. That hits.
That hits?
Yeah.
Wow, this thing is not that high, I say.
Has an AC of 18.
Oh. Next attack. I crit that.
Finally.
92 bonus.
That has like 200 hit points, but we have a wiener.
We have a wiener.
You need to make a will save or fall unconscious for 1d6 rounds.
Should I plug myself on the deck?
Yes.
Punches yourself in the dick.
You got your dick caught on the statue. You negate the unconsciousness.
Ow. A dick.
You can act.
Punching me in the dick.
You can act.
Yeah, you didn't sound impressive this time.
So, what on earth are you going to do? I was assuming you were going to be stunned this entire time. Well, there's only one thing for him to do, I think.
He didn't have his weapon either.
He's going to take a 5-foot step back and cast Fireball right on your face.
Sounds like I don't have step up.
So, you get a reflex save.
Yeah, you do.
That does beat it, so you'll take none of the 33 damage. As he just takes a step back and massive burst of fire.
He was just holding his dick like, ow. Fuck.
Yeah. Tonatium.
Well said.
Yes. You do not have to act out your compulsion this round.
I was like, huh? As I say, wait, what was I doing?
No, you're fully aware of what you were doing.
Well, in that case, I will plan as I try to get closer and cast Protection from Evil Communal on myself.
Protection. Are you only doing yourself?
I cannot. I have to be touching other people too.
Well. So the good news is that completely invalidates this effect. You are no longer being magically compelled to do here.
To do here.
Bang him.
And as a swift action, I'll Cold Ice Strike the.
Oh, yeah.
So, is it 30 feet? Nope, he's out of range, so I can't do that.
Oh, it's not bad.
furrows her brow and goes, no, that's... no. Why can't I have any nice things? Swoops down here to Kairos. Tries to flip him around into a kiss.
I told you, lady, we ain't gonna work out.
You rolled another one.
Kairos.
Wait, I can touch her.
Yes, you
My
can.
turn. My turn. I'm going to reach out and touch her.
Okay.
Should I try and touch her? Sure, let's try and touch her. What's my touch?
I should light in the boob.
She'll groove her. She can't resist that.
That touches her.
And the spell I'm casting, since I touched her, Slay Living.
Does it have spell resistance?
Yes.
Make your caster level check.
Slay living, what the fuck?
Is there a fort save involved?
Yes, fort save. She fails. So she's going to take 12d6 plus 12.
Dang. Puppy, no, that's my wire you're biting. Where'd he go? Oh, there you are.
And it's just a crap ton of negative energy is thrown into her.
Buster, can you leave, please?
Yeah, and so yeah, you touch her and she goes, oh, ah! You know, very anime, oh, you're groping me, haha, followed by scream of torment.
You grab her boob. She's like, oh my god, you shock her.
I just imagine just like desiccation
Yeah.
as he fucks with her.
Just let her get blood squish one next time, that's me. No actions for you.
That hits. 2 saves.
Stun.
You crit fail, ending that fight before killing him. Nope, this one is...
Why do you keep punching yourself in the dick?
This one is frustration. You take a -4 penalty on all attack rolls for 1 round. You're frustrated.
Well, to be fair, you've been having a bad day with all your attacks. Yeah, I punched myself in the face and then in the dick.
Looks at you and goes,
He's stunned.
still can go grrr. Donatium.
Let's see.
Why does he keep punching me in the dick?
I keep punching him in the dick. That's why he gets stunned. There, as a swift action, I'll cast Cold Ice Strike. Let's see. Okay, the spell will go off. Plus, does that beat spell resistance?
That... are you going against who?
Arthoff.
Okay, there's no spell resistance.
Oh, in that case, yay! That could be a roll. Oh. 12d6. 41 cold damage.
So you deal 82 cold damage to the person with 10 hit points left. And he just falls back to the ground as an icicle, his spear laying at Here's feet.
He never entered the go. That's stunned him twice in a row, then he's backed up to cast his spell.
Hey, should have probably used Code of Cold. Oh well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over here, she's just looking at you going, you want to touch? You want to touch? Okay, we'll touch.
Bad touch, bad touch.
And she reaches out to touch you.
Please roll one, kid.
Does that touch you?
No.
So she goes to grab you and you're like, no, no touch.
Stop it, no.
Bad touch, bad touch.
Never stop it.
Gyros.
Let's see. I'm going to reach out and touch her again.
This is the touch fight.
And now you're gonna get involved.
That touches her. So the difference is she kind of wants to be touched. So yeah.
Spell resistance. I'm going to activate my rewind time ability. But when I roll a d20, before I know if it succeeded or failed, I can activate it and re-roll it.
Reroll that. And that took that failure into a success.
I just imagine reaching out, realizes as she dodges it or resists it, and then he just goes back in time for a few seconds and then does it again.
You did Divine Pulse.
Yes.
Hey, it doesn't work
She
like
needs an
that.
effort save.
She needs to make a fortitude save.
You still keep the rolls if you're Divine Pulse, though.
Not if you are, she manipulate.
Does
She fails. You know what that means? Touch her death. Lay living.
Oh, she's dead. I don't get to roll my UwU.
she falls to the ground, dead.
She died as she lived, being touched.
She died as she lived, groping boob.
She hit the ground there, yeah?
Told you we would work out.
Oh,
This is... I can't recall if Succubi are devils or demons.
see, I knew
You can make a knowledge planes check. They demons.
In that case, I say as I take a dagger and collect some blood samples in vials.
So it is submerge the spear within the blood. So a couple samples isn't quite going to do it.
You're gonna have like gutter.
Let's get to work.
Alright. So, I don't know how long Alakas needs to be in. It probably needs to be marinated for a week or, I don't know. Well, let's have Alakas have a few drops and see what happens.
You were told that it has to be submerged in the blood of an evil outsider for 2 minutes while you hold it.
Could you? For 2 minutes, okay. I thought it was 2 weeks.
Nope.
Alright.
So you skewer her with Alicast and just like hold her up so the blood droops down.
Or you could like just cut her from her neck to her like groin and then stuff the staff into her corpse.
That feels a bit extreme.
Especially since Tonatium has to maintain contact with the staff.
And I'll do it for you, Donatio.
No, like Tony has been in contact with staff. Look, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm just gonna unwrap the spike chain I keep wrapped around my wrist as my weapon and just start cutting her open.
This is horrendous.
Tonatine is disturbed.
Yeah.
I don't think Tonatine has done something as disturbing since the whole acid bath to get rid of bodies thing.
Come on, stuff it in.
Do what you gotta do.
I think the idea when this ritual was written was that you'd be like dousing this in Napathoron or one of the random encounters, not, oh, here's the sexy succubus.
Yeah, Tonatine is kind of disturbed, considering all things considering.
Well, we don't have any more demons. The other one's ice.
So this is the one we got. So, staff in now.
But I'm doing that right now.
Yep. It's warm.
Guys, could you just, I don't know, talk to me about something while I keep my mind off of this?
How does it feel to actually be inside of a woman for the first time?
I'm gonna say the same thing, Kairos. Have you ever been inside of a...
No. Men, no.
Oh, I've been inside both.
You two are disgusting.
It's a lifestyle.
We're in a world that's literally worse than hell. Gotta find some humor in it.
Wonder how Jill is doing.
I could ask.
Please don't. If she found out I was thinking about her, she'd never let me hear the end of it.
Gosh, Tony, I didn't think you would think of another woman while deep inside of one.
And the great thing is, if Luvash here weren't so dead, she'd be getting in on this.
On the teasing Tonatium.
Jeez, your hands are so deep inside me and you can't even think about me. But yeah, after 2 minutes of this teasing, a voice in your head, Tonatium, goes, "These men are foul." As Leovash's corpse ignites in fire and dissolves away. And Alicast arises shining white without a trace of blood on it.
Did it change color from its gray, or?
It is shining white. And it goes, "I am awake once more." So, I forget, Alicast is currently a +1 quarterstaff, yes?
Yes.
It is now a +1 Evil Outsider Bane quarterstaff.
+1 evil outsider bane.
Now you're even better at smacking demons in the face with a staff.
Not that I want to in the first place.
You have to.
I mean, I do have True Strike prepared.
Well, I think the evil outsider bane means it does extra damage to evil outsiders.
Yeah, but it's the fact of hitting them that's the issue.
Yeah.
Look, Ascodon's first weapon upgrade.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Forging the Master Sword.
So, you're awake now, huh?
Indeed. Indeed. bathed me in the blood of the wicked. How can that be disturbing?
Cut a succubi open and stuffed you in there for 2 minutes.
A succubi is a being of evil. How can that be disturbing?
You know, I'll just go with it. Anyway, what now?
Now we strike evil where it stands.
These one-sided conversations are very fascinating.
Although, do you mean to say what makes me more powerful?
Yes. Have you returned to your full strength yet?
No. However, I have grown more. Yes. More. I have grown more powerful. But yes, I do have more that I need to do. That is true.
Do you know what's the next step?
I must be infused with precious metals in filament at the heart of a volcano. Is anyone injured?
I'm missing 6 HP.
I'm surprisingly not injured.
Is Kairos injured?
Yes. I haven't taken a little bit of damage.
Yeah, both Kairos and he are injured.
Your Fulgur friends are injured. The staff flashes. Kairos regains 23 hit points. Here regains 17.
Yay, full heal. He's only missing 6.
So you can do that now too, huh?
I can heal 3 people I feel are worthy. I'm uncertain about them, but they are your companions, and the air here stinks of wickedness.
I'm gonna turn on my invisible plate.
Can heal 3 people, maybe.
Give me this.
The Alakast seems to very much not like it as Karathon comes close. Well, see, aren't we glad we didn't rest before?
It certainly could have gotten a lot uglier, that's for sure.
That's a very nice spear she has here. He reaches down and takes a spear lying next to where Luvash's body was. It's a long black spear covered in barbs.
Detect magic?
It radiates enchantment and necromancy.
Okay.
That's a +1 wounding spear.
And no one can use it.
Karathon goes, yes.
+1 what again?
Wounding spear. Karathon. Unless someone stops him, we'll put it along his back.
I won't. I mean, it probably looked nice on the wall somewhere, but
I'm not even allowed to carry magic weapons unless they're given to me.
Well then, where do you wish to rest?
Let's see, there were 2 doorways over here.
I'm gonna turn invisible again.
There's actually doors in those doorways.
Alright. I'll open them.
Okay. This is a ruined library with broken shelves lining the walls and the books floating in midair, lazily circling the middle of the room. Each book is open and the pages flap like birds' wings.
Huh.
As you step into the room, 7 of the books break from their flutter and fly towards you. So that's going to be 6 of these. Or excuse me, 7. So how many of those hit you?
Let's see, my AC is 24. 2 of them. 2 hit. Ow!
For a total of 24 holy damage.
Ow!
Holy damage.
All of them that did not hit you kind of flop onto the ground and become regular books. The 2 that hit you explode in a flash of light.
Oh, jeez. That's like half damage.
Would you roll initiative, please?
Ow.
Oh gosh, this is perfect. As this happens and there's this flash of light, the cathedral shimmers. The ruins are gone. The rubble is gone. The holes in the roof are gone. And outside the stained glass, instead of seeing the abyss, you see the beautiful plains of Celestia. Kairos.
I'm gonna move up because I'm staggered for this round, so I can't do much yet.
The map can't physically change, but all of the ruins you see are not present until I say otherwise. And everything is beautiful. There's a great statue of an angel. It's great. Donatium.
Ow, what did I do? You said it was holy damage, right?
Yes.
That's not, does that technically count as energy, or?
It's holy damage.
Holy damage? I think it'll just be considered good. I don't think my energy points applies here.
Yeah, it's not energy.
Ow. Ow. Gotta get away from the books. Cast, a little help. I ask for healing.
You get
Bring me
25,
back to full.
and the initiative is gone. The books flop around.
That's certainly an odd thing to see.
There are 193 books floating around in the circle there.
I wonder what happens if he steps the room.
Okay.
Wait, let me detect magic in this room. There's surely something happened because of it.
You detect a divine magic on the books. So it's not very clear in the text here what's happening, like from an arcane perspective, but you can gather that these books are holy. This, in fact, this entire place is holy. This is a temple from before Accipitus fell from Celestia into the abyss. And those books have reacted to that by doing this flying circle. And anything that enters that room will get attacked by books.
Oh, any way to stop them? Is there any way to stop the books from attacking?
You could attempt to dispel the effect.
Wait, so did the whole ruins go somewhere, or
The ruins fade back into the abyss. You can recognize that this is not an illusion or it going somewhere. The ruins sort of remember. It's the ruins remembering what they were like in Celestia and becoming, for a moment, a little demi-plane within this plane with the properties of Celestia and then fading back. But that isn't really, that's not related to the books. That's just something that happens.
So the books attack anyone.
Who steps into the room?
I was assuming I might have been aligned in face, but I like it. And it's coming in, it's not ready.
I think the staff now speaks for itself when it's since with this color. I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna go check the other door.
Frescoes of angels cover the walls of this room, although most have been scraped from the wall or defaced. The rugs on the floor are stained and torn, and most of the furniture, chairs and end tables, is missing legs or has ruined cushions. In neat rows across the room are a series of empty pedestals. 2 piles contain broken statuary, ripped oil paintings, and lots of wooden debris.
But no visible threat.
No visible threat.
Here, we'll take a step further.
Okay. There's piles of gunk all over the place.
This place is a bit dirty, but it seems relatively safe.
Should we rest here then?
I still think resting is unwise, but if it must be done.
I personally could keep going if I wanted to.
Grathon looks around. Well, come in, come in. Let's see. Do I have anything that is useful here to help people? No, it is not. No, I do not. Not unless you want to make undead. Yeah. This is a ruined room full of piles of stuff.
She already told me that. I'm gonna take a look at the frescoes. Frescoes?
Okay. The frescoes have all been kind of torn off. You can tell that they're angels, but there's not really enough to figure out what's going on beforehand. I will say there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are effectively 10 piles of garbage here.
Detect magic?
You detect no magic. I'm going to go ahead and mark them if I can. That's not a good color. you doing?
I'm gonna try to carve some space in W2 for.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. Yeah, you can clear away W2, and clean everything up. It's nice and clean over there, easy to lay down.
I think here we're probably clean space right over here on the
Okay. Make a perception check. Would you make an appraise check?
I'm trained in this.
So you're going through and you find what looks like a worthless sort of brass cup covered with grime. Just toss it away. The rest of the trash. So you toss it aside with the rest of the trash. It's nice and clean and ready to sit down there.
Oh, what was that noise?
You may make an appraise check, as you can see that he tossed this little cup.
It's been a while since I've done something like this.
You go, wait a second, that's not brass, that's grime. You walk over and you wipe the grime aside and you see gold and sapphires. It's a gold cup set with sapphires. Worth 2,500 gold.
Jeez.
You have quite the eye for cash, don't you?
I'm gonna clear out this area here where I'm at, just W3.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Come on, you work.
Yeah, you managed to get that entire space cleared out, ready to sleep.
I wonder if there's more of these somewhere. I see as how, like, they're probably looking for stuff through the rubble.
Okay, so you're scurrying through. Go ahead and make a perception check. You don't see anything.
I think here will help when scurrying through these top ones.
Okay, make a perception check for each of them.
Three of them.
Yep. So you'll see something in each of them. I assume you're going to ask Tonatium to identify it.
Yes.
So,
I'm not very good at identifying it.
3 appraise checks. So he pulls out a beautiful ivory harp with solid gold strings. Actually, it's a masterwork. Which matters if you play it. A rolled up oil portrait of a sort of beautiful woman with angelic wings and a snake's tail. Worth 100 GP. And a beautiful music box that when you open it, it goes dee 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 dee. You know, gives you a sort of celestial harmony made out of a gorgeous wood that grows only in the heavens and lined with platinum. Korofon just sees you doing this and goes, I thought we were going to rest, not gather up baubles.
You can rest in a second.
This is taking a while, to be honest.
Yeah, it takes you about 10 minutes to sift through each of the piles.
Want to help me figure out the rest?
Sure. Go through the other three.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Yes, yes. You roll badly on the ones that you don't need to roll well on. So, there's a slightly torn portrait of Lake Imperia, which is a lake in heaven. A hurricane lamp made of brown glass. And a torn portrait of Sakrima, the planetar. Which is, let me just see if I can find Sakrima, the planetar here. Put it in the Discord chat. Because, yeah, you can see the beauty and glory of Sakrima.
You win.
It's a painting of that. Sakrima is a planetar who crafts his armor out of the leather of the fiends he kills. So it's a four-winged, blue-skinned angel with, silver hair and fiendish armor. It would have been worth a lot more, probably 10 times as much if it weren't for the fact that it was torn down the middle. Yeah, but you can't really mend. You can mend it into one piece, but you can't really fix the damage to the art.
Yeah, it would need some restoration work.
Yep.
Wouldn't make hole do that then?
It can't repair the art aspect.
So there's no way to repair the art aspect.
No, there's no way to repair the art aspect.
You would need to find a painter that's really good at restoration.
Can I use a make hole?
We just said that's not going to repair the art aspect.
Sorry, I was thought I had a higher level one.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Well, put the treasures delicately aside in one spot of the room as I lay down.
Okay. Now that's not who's taking first watch.
I'll go first watch.
I'll take last.
Alright, let me get middle.
Korofon's going, I cannot awaken once I sleep, so if you want me to watch, I'll need to take the last one. Well, I suppose I don't need to watch.
We got this. Just a nice rest, old man.
Yes. So, you're going to rest for 8 hours?
I'll ask the Dragonrock to assist the other two when
Okay.
time comes.
Hour 1, 2, 3.
Looks like we might have an encounter on Kairos' watch.
This is the 3rd hour of Tonatium's watch.
Oh, so we have an encounter on Tia's watch.
I just need to double check exactly what the encounter right here is. Okay. Donatium, as you are watching, you hear, so a couple things. One, every few minutes or so, the cathedral remembers where it was. Like, it's sort of disorienting. It happens. And one of the things that happens whenever it does is that there are people in this room sitting cross-legged meditating when it remembers. And on the third hour, when they come back, when it remembers, when it forgets what it is and comes back again, the two of the people that were meditating don't fade back, but all the way, but instead stay as sort of shadowy white figures.
Planar check?
Give me one moment here. I want to get you a token that represents what you actually are seeing. You're fairly aware that this is not actually a planar entity.
Oh no. That gonna use religion.
Those are specters. They seem to be meditating.
Alicast, am I hallucinating?
No. You, at least not that I'm aware, although I am not an expert on the human mind. Everyone else lays there sleeping and dreaming calmly.
Specters. What do I know about specters?
They're incorporeal undead. They are twisted by tragedy to hate the living. Their touch drains life. Those that die at their touch rise as specters themselves. But they are weak against resurrection. And powerless in sunlight.
Take out Darius' sword of sunlight.
Unfortunately, that's not natural sunlight. And the bright light shines. Everyone may make a perception check.
I'm just gonna negative penalty.
Yeah, perception check minus 10 penalty, DC 0.
I'm not gonna make it.
You get woken up by this bright shining light. Corafon flips over, goes, oh. And these two ghosts, they seem to be trying to keep their meditation going despite this distracting light. And they succeed.
What the fuck do I do?
Here, as you stir, you can see these two ghosts, these two ghostly angels meditating.
I thought the sunlight would have make them go away, but
It's natural sunlight.
natural sunlight is needed. So they haven't done anything to move yet.
Not yet. And you guys were speaking, so as they finagle, Spectre 4 stops, opens her eyes, and goes, "You disturbed my meditations." And starts to twist into a thing of anger. Initiative. Kairos, you got woken up after only 3 hours of sleep.
Son of a bitch. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. I'm going to try it though. Dismissal on the one that looks pissed off.
Okay, you haven't gotten your new spells yet, just so you know.
Yep. This is still what spells I still have saved up.
It has no effect.
Oh, that was worth a shot.
As long as you're done, because you're staggered.
Yep.
It turns to you here and goes, "Be quiet," as it reaches out to touch you.
That's a bad touch.
That will deal 8 damage.
Magic damage.
No.
So I take 3.
And I need you to make a fortitude save twice.
Twice. Is this disease or poisons?
No.
Okay.
Negative energy.
Energy drain.
Oh, that's nasty. Goodbye, con. Goodbye, levels.
You do not take the negative levels.
Good.
These things are nasty.
Here.
How about you shut up? Flurry of blows. I'm trying to sleep.
One moment. And your hands count as magic, correct?
Yep, it counts magic, good, cold iron, silver, and lawful.
Okay, so that will hit, but it will only do half damage.
Only do half. Of course, I rolled 2 different numbers. And then next attack.
Hits, half damage.
Next attack.
Hits, half damage.
Threat.
So, as far as critical hits are concerned, yes, you can.
Cool.
And that confirms. It
Is
is
it
still.
evil?
It is.
Cool, it's like 3 save.
What type of save is this?
Fort save for golden it's
No.
will save the resounding blow, and fort save the quell to prevent.
No fort saves.
No fort saves?
No fort saves. It's immune to
So it's
things.
a quell to prevent?
It's immune to things that require fort saves.
Right. So it only takes the will save, which it makes. So it is not cowering for a round.
But yeah, you deal your critical hit damage halved.
So it's basically regular damage.
Roll your critical hit damage and then divide it by 2.
4d6 plus 16 plus 2d6. And then, if it's not dead yet, next attack.
It is not dead yet.
So my first 12, this is my second 12.
That hits.
And then last attack.
That also hits.
Sweet.
Yeah, you go wailing on this ghost.
Punching ghosts. Ghostbuster.
Tonitium.
I'm gonna make it a jabbing master.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
You can totally run up and bitch smack it with Alleycat.
No, the cast doesn't work like that. It's not an evil outsider. I think.
But the Alleycast is a +1 weapon.
I'll just magic missile it.
That will work too. It had 1 hit point. It had 1 hit point.
One damage.
Okay. So you pew a magic missile at it and it just dissolves away. As this next one goes, silence in the meditation room. And rolls over to touch here.
No. No bad touch this time. I'm ready for the bad touch.
Kairos.
Bad touch. Bad touch. I'm going to cast Forbid Action, targeting the Spectre. No bad touch. It made the save.
It can still bad touch.
It gets a bad touch.
But can it survive a fireball? Probably.
That'll hit. Hit. Hit.
Quick
So let's see, that's 34, 12, 6. Wait. I'm trying to figure out what. Let me do math.
Sorry, I doing my quick roll.
23 divided by 2 is 11. Thank you. And your critical fail roll. I'm sorry, I would normally be faster at this, but you take 1 point of con damage.
Ow. I think we're resting.
Tell me TM.
This is dumb, but I might as well try it out.
does not.
I think it's to get flanking.
It hits. For 2 damage because it's a +1.
Oh. Yeah, magic weapons get +1 more in damage.
There we go. I just realized I had forgotten to put the new Tonatium art in. Okay. So our Spectre is going to whip around to Tonatium, the last to touch her, and say, "Silence in the meditation room."
That does not touch.
Kairos.
No bad touch. Will save. It fails this time. No bad touch.
No bad touch this time. But yes, flurry of blows.
Roll a 1. That hits.
Next attack.
Hits.
Now it's plus. Next attack.
Hits. And it's dead.
And it's and it's gone.
Yeah. So that disrupted the sleep of anyone trying to recover spells.
I'm gonna go back to sleep.
We now need 8 hours of sleep for Kairos. So, are we restarting our sleepage bit with 3 batches of 4? So,
I guess the Tone team will continue to watch to make up for it.
so
Where did you watch?
as you're
Remember what he said, it's a very bad idea to try to rest here.
as you continue to attempt to rest, something comes by. Something walks into the room, or rather peeks into the room. Let me make the token for it.
That statue.
It leans in and even, yay, odd, nay. As it looks in, it goes, you rest with evil in Celestial. So if you speak Celestial, you understand it. If you don't,
I do not.
so yeah, it comes in and in a beautiful voice says something.
Alex, could you help me out here?
It's concerned about the old man.
not waking up anytime soon. I say common.
It turns. You rest with evil. What's Kairos' alignment?
Chaotic neutral.
And here is lawful good.
Yep. So it looks around and goes, and leaves. Because I don't think I want to have you fight that creature at this particular time.
Is it a very hard creature to fight?
It would be a thing. So, with that, that's the end of Tonatium's shift.
No, it's your shift.
One, two, three, four.
I
Here's
have a
shift.
very tired squirrel of company.
Here's shift. Passes without incident.
See, Toad's just really bad at doing more.
And it's Kairos' turn.
No, it's just like you have bad luck after all. We've been told it's a bad idea to rest here.
Are you ready, Kairos?
I'm rolling now.
Hey, I do the rolls. Shush.
Oh.
You're fine. Nothing happens.
Yay!
Toad just has bad luck. Yay, rest.
And you awaken the next day, fully rested. And I think this is probably where we're going to end for today, at least as far as streaming and everything. Mostly because I'm hungry.
Alright. Let's see.
Need to do
So
some
you
XP.
wanted to know what my plan was, or when I was mind controlled to fight against here?
Yes.
I was originally just going to go up, get close enough and cast Waves of Fatigue, so both you and the Archon, Arcus, or whatever his name was, got caught into it. Then I spam a bunch of AoE spells.
And it's like, he has to kill me. He doesn't have to do something sure to hit me.
Yeah,
But then-
you started attacking him.
But then after Silence limited my options to get you at range, I was seeing if I could get close enough to catch Phantasmal Killer.
Yeah, he just try to punch me.
No, you didn't say attack. She said kill.
Yeah.
That would be kind of like if Tonatium ran up and punched you, I would be like,
Yeah.
Even stabbing me with a knife.
No, that's the thing. Tonatium doesn't like fighting up close.
Yeah, but the thing doesn't make you do what you like to do. It makes you try to kill me.
Yeah, and what I think is the best way is possible.
yeah. And did you end up looking at the spear that the fiery snake guy dropped?
Nope, I didn't pick it up.
Oh, he had a spear?
Yeah, he had a spear.
I would have looked at it.
It's a +3 long spear.
Huh. Oh, he said spear. I was thinking an orb kind of spear.
No.
Not sphere, spear.
I think I could use a long spear if I really, really wanted to. I'll just put it in the quiver.
It's a large +3 long spear. Although that
Large.
yeah.
If it's a +3, then someone will pay some good money for it.
Oh yeah. You guys are finding lots of money here.
That's a lot of things to donate to the Church of Halo and Coin.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to cover expensive
It's a part of the feat. He's not allowed to say no. You keep your
I'm
spirit.
not allowed to say no, you keep it. I specifically have to take my figures.
And then donate it.
Yeah, then donate it all.
So, questions, comments, concerns.
Donate it back to me.
I have to donate for church.
So, I figured I wanted to mention, wanted to avoid that fight because it had that
Oh.
and that.
Oh.
Changing the magic. I mean, if I was one level,
Yeah, we would. Yeah, I would not be able to do anything except for try to pull off.
not one level.
I kind of.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm like, does it try? So, as this statue to protect heaven from hell that's stuck down here comes in, does it attack? Does it try to talk to you, or does it just go evil smash? And fortunately, I rolled talk to you.
Fortunately.
Fortunately, you will talk to you, and also, fortunately, sleeping right next to the evil man is the good thing.
Yeah.
No touchy.
How did you like the succubus?
That was fun.
Yeah, that's what
I like
Yeah,
succubi.
I wasn't expecting that.
I did like that they separated us off, so even if he hadn't dispelled it, it still would have been a fight of them versus succubus and me versus demon.
Yeah, the entire point of that. So if it hadn't been dispelled, the next round he was going to put another wall of fire to protect him from you and just kind of hold you off there. Because what they did is when you were fighting the Driders, they came by, they watched, they made a plan, then it blew up in their face. But like, and at first, up until the whole golden ice thing happened, she was like, "Oh, I need to kiss him."
The golden ice never happened.
Oh shit, that's right. She should have tried to kiss you. Crap.
Yeah, never. Oh, they all made their saves.
See, I got
She
confused.
still could have attempted to kiss me, because it's only if I touch them with my hands.
Yeah. Well, she didn't know that.
Yeah, she didn't know about the golden ice.
No. That was me getting confused because of the stupid COVID bullshit.
The touch of COVID.
She should have, in that case, they should have been splitting off probably Kairos and trying to kiss you and have you kill Tonatium.
I don't think she could potentially even grab him. What is her modifier to grab?
Plus 11.
Yeah, she can't grab me. I have a CMD of 32.
How?
She can't even grab me even on that 20.
She would have needed to. Well, that's okay. She also has the ability once per day to just go, "Do it, bitch," without asking to kiss you. So.
Oh yeah, but I have better will save when it comes to spell effects against me.
Yeah.
I just rolled badly when it came to the will saves.
No touchy. I'm sorry. I'm not into you. No, we're really not going to make a good couple here.
That was vampiric touch. At her level, that would have been 10d6.
What?
Her at-will vampiric touch.
Oh.
How?
Yeah. She was hurting. She's like, "I need to heal. Let me get a bit of that bad touch."
Nope. Slay living. You die now. You die now.
That's actually kind of the funny part. If she had gone against me, she would have been very outmatched. She can't normally touch me.
Things are outmatched against you.
Things that actually do touch spells.
deflection. You only get like a +3 from it, I think.
Yeah. They have deflection bonus up already permanently on me.
I was worried
Skill
it was,
curse was fun.
I was worried it was going to take forever to get the blood I needed for Alicast.
I'm just gonna put one demon.
And then some assassin them.
Turned into a snuff porn film. I was so uncomfortable that entire scene. And of course, Alicast is like, it's a demon. Because Alicast doesn't have eyes.
Demons have no rights.
Farewell, Tom. Are you off to work?
I have to go finish cleaning out the apartment.
Ah, well. Okay then. Try not to spread your disease to others during your latency period.
I'll do my best to.
I'm going to get some eggs. Spam.
I'm probably going to order a pizza. Because I'm sick
Tom,
of
what
rice
you
and
do
beans.
is you need to become a monk.
The great thing is you didn't even do, like, all we did was, like, fight our way into this little room and rest.
Good. It was a hard fight.
Yeah.
Mostly because I couldn't hit for shit and they couldn't hit for shit, so nothing happened.
I was going to do my thing for like the first few rounds.
Yeah, that's the drawback of that mist spell.
Yeah, the one drawback of it misspell. I can't punch them when I missed.
Alright. I'll see ya.
I should do the next time spoiler image.
I can't wait till I get jabbing master.
So yeah, that's right. The quarterstaff is a double weapon. Does that mean I could strike twice?
Yeah.
Or do I need to take beats?
It's a -2 penalty normally, I think. I forget.
Yeah.
What is it without two-handed fighting to make a light weapon attack with the offhand?
Next time, the proctor. He seems like a swell guy.
So you can, but it's a -6 penalty with your regular attack and a -8 with the offhand attack.